The Cleveland Cavaliers aren't just winning, they're dominating. 12 straight wins for the third time this season. Best record in the league, first in offensive rating, sixth in defensive rating, the first team to clinch a playoff spot. And the way they're doing it, it's like watching basketball played in its purest form. Every pass, every cut, every possession feels like perfection. It's efficient, it's dynamic, and it's impossible to ignore. I'm obsessed with how the Cavs are playing right now, and after this, you will be too.
LeVert bounces off the Struce, gets it back in the corner. He fires a three and knocks it down.
The Cavs' recent resume is impressive, especially considering how far they fell after LeBron James left in 2018. From a brutal 19-46 finish in 2020, they've clawed their way back with 3 straight winning seasons, peaking at 51-31 in 22-23. For the first time since LeBron's departure, they've secured back-to-back playoff berths, capped off by a gritty 2024 campaign that gave them their first playoff series win without him since 1993. With a core of 3 all-star cornerstones, Cleveland has risen from irrelevance to Eastern Conference contention. But let's be real, last season ended in a way that made it clear the Cavs weren't quite there yet. It led to the firing of head coach J.B. Bickerstaff, because you don't fire a coach after a season like that if you're satisfied. You do it because you expect more offensive synergy, more pathways to wins, more than just a 4th seed, and more than one grueling series win where you barely scrape by a young Magic squad. Now, injuries played a massive role in the Cavs' struggles. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley missed a combined 84 games. And when you throw in Jarrett Allen, the team's core 4 only shared the court for 392 minutes all season. Yet they still managed 48 wins, thanks in part to the East being weaker than the West and a deceptively deep roster featuring guys like Caris LeVert, plus multiple 40% three-point shooters like George Niang and Sam Merrill.
Each of the last 2 seasons, Mobley works on Reed, goes across the foul line. Niang pushes up a 3 that's perfect.
They battled past Orlando in 7 games, winning a Game 7 on the road. But in the next round, those injury issues reared their head again against the Celtics. But let's be honest though, injury or not, Boston's quality and depth were just too much. That's why the front office cleaned the house and brought in a new coaching staff to fix their offensive woes. Even beyond that, many around the league expected a roster shakeup, specifically in the backcourt. The supposed incompatibility of 2 high-usage guards in Mitchell and Garland, plus rumored chemistry issues, made Garland the likely trade candidate. By the offseason, they only made one major move, hiring a new head coach in Kenny Atkinson, and had a quiet summer otherwise. Trade rumors around Darius Garland fizzled out within weeks, and after the NBA draft, there wasn't a hint of any blockbuster deals. Instead, they bet on continuity, extending Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen, signaling confidence in their core rather than a roster shakeup. Some saw this as a mistake given the Knicks and Sixers made aggressive moves, while rising teams like Indiana and Orlando threatened to push Cleveland further down the standings. But fast forward to the 2024-25 season, and the Cavs have shattered those doubts. They're sitting at the top of the NBA as the #1 seed. They own the league's highest offensive rating at 122.9. They lead in points per game with 123.1 and points per 100 possessions with 122.89.
Mitchell against Hauser, crossover. Mitchell feeling it, step back, puts it up, punch it in!
And they're doing it with absurd efficiency. First in three-point percentage at 39.3%, second in field goal percentage at 49.6%, first in effective field goal percentage at 58.6%, and first in true shooting percentage at 61.5%, all on the back of a refinement of their play style, the reinvention of proven stars, and the emergence of unlikely heroes. The difference between this Cavs team and last year's version is night and day. Same core, same rotation, but this isn't the 2023-24 Cavaliers. And it all starts with one major offseason move, the hiring of Kenny Atkinson. Atkinson brings a wealth of experience. Golden State's lead assistant during their 2022 title run. Steve Kerr's most trusted voice on the bench. The architect behind Brooklyn's unexpected resurgence a few years ago. And fresh off leading France to a silver medal in the 2024 Olympics, nearly taking down Team USA in the process. His track record speaks for itself. Even before his arrival, the Cavs were already a strong team. The defense was never in question as Evan Mobley remains a perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Jarrett Allen continues to be one of the league's most underrated rim protectors. The real challenge was unlocking the offense, maximizing Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and Mobley while figuring out how to make the Mobley-Allen frontcourt functional on both ends.
Darius Garland over the timeline. Garland for the win!
Atkinson wasted no time overhauling their approach. The Cavaliers, with the same core, now play an entirely different style. The offense has been modernized, replacing slow, rigid possessions with speed, spacing, and relentless movement. More transition play, more early shot clock threes, and more pressure applied to opposing defenses. 2 years ago, this team somehow ranked 8th in offensive rating, while playing at the slowest pace in the league, ranking 24th in three-point attempts, and sitting in the bottom half of the league in assist percentage. Injuries derailed them last season, dragging their offensive rating down to 16th, but the signs of improvement were there. Now those adjustments have fully materialized this season, and Atkinson's biggest impact has been in pushing the tempo. The Cavaliers have gone from one of the slowest teams in the league, ranked 22nd in pace last season, to playing the 5th fastest pace in the NBA. The focus is on getting out in transition, moving the ball quickly, and keeping defenses on their heels. It's a perfect system for a young, athletic team built to run. This is a complete departure from the slow, methodical offense under J.B. Bickerstaff. His system leaned heavily on the pick and roll, with Garland initiating from deep and Allen setting screens before rolling to the rim. While there were flashes of ball movement, especially when Garland was injured last season, the offense remained predictable. Defenses knew exactly what was coming.
Inside, Allen lays it in, and a foul. What a sequence.
Now everything flows. Players are spaced properly. The ball handling responsibilities are spread out, allowing Garland and Mitchell to move off the ball for open looks. There's constant motion, forcing defenders into mistakes. And when they slip up, the Cavs capitalize. The results speak for themselves. Cleveland opened the season with 15 straight wins, one of only 4 teams in NBA history to start 15-0. The last 3 all made it to the finals. And now, with just weeks left in the regular season, the Cavaliers have officially punched their ticket to the playoffs, the first team to do so this season. It's their 3rd straight trip to the postseason, their longest streak since LeBron James led them to 4 straight finals from 2015 to 2018. That said, the Cavs are also the first team to hit 50 wins this season, becoming just the 12th team in NBA history to do it in their first 60 games, the first since the 2017 Warriors. That kind of dominance doesn't happen by accident. The biggest difference between last year's Cavs and this year's squad is simple. They finally have a real offensive identity. This isn't some offense where everything runs through one guy like when Luka was in Dallas or Jokic in Denver. They've moved away from the heavy Mitchell isolation plays that defined last season. Now the offense flows, everyone touches the ball, the movement is sharp, and the execution is deadly. It's a modern version of the 2014 Spurs or the 2022 Warriors. The Cavaliers have completely flipped the script this season, transforming into the best offensive team in the league.
Mitchell with his head up. Garland, great pass inside to a wide-open Mobley.
Their offensive rating of 120.4 leads the NBA, a huge jump from last year when they didn't even crack the top 10. What changed? A smarter, faster, and more balanced approach. No more stagnant isolation plays. No more inconsistent shooting. Now, the ball moves, the floor is spaced, and every possession is rooted in efficiency. The numbers back it up. They lead the NBA in points per possession with 124.1, up from just 115.3 last season, a leap from 18th to 1st. Their effective field goal percentage has climbed from 55.7% to 59.1%, showing they're generating and making high-quality shots. Even their turnover rate has improved, dropping from 13.7% to 12.7%, meaning fewer wasted possessions and more scoring chances. And they're dominating the glass too, with their offensive rebounding percentage rising from 25.5% to 27.6%, giving them extra opportunities to punish defenses. It's not just about the numbers, it's how they're getting them. The Cavs are elite at attacking the basket, ranking among the league's best in drives and paint touches. They're averaging 29.2 points per game off drives, finishing at an efficient 51.9%. When they get into the paint, they're nearly automatic, shooting 73.9%, a number that would make even prime Shaq jealous. But they're not just bullying teams inside, they're also thriving in the mid-range, converting 66.3% of their elbow shots, making them one of the most well-rounded scoring teams in the NBA. Compared to the rest of the league, Cleveland's offense isn't just great, it's on another level. Their assist-to-turnover ratio of 2.1 ranks among the best, proving their ball movement is crisp and controlled. Their effective field goal percentage of 58.6% is far ahead of most teams, showing they aren't just taking good shots, they're making them. Whether in transition or the half court, the Cavs are playing at an elite pace while keeping their offense disciplined and precise. Now that the numbers show just how dominant the Cavs have become, it's time to highlight the players making it happen, starting with Evan Mobley. From day one, we knew Mobley could anchor an elite defense, but his offensive game, that's where people were waiting for real growth. This season, instead of forcing himself into a three-point shooter, he's embraced a role that actually fits his skill set, and it's paying off in a big way. Atkinson has given Mobley the freedom to handle the ball more, unlocking new ways for him to score and create for others.
The offensive player creating a mismatch.
Evan Mobley to the basket. He works on Cody Martin.
He's not just standing at the elbow waiting for a pass anymore. He's initiating plays from the perimeter, attacking defenders off the dribble, and making quick reads like a seasoned playmaker. The goal was never to turn him into a volume shooter from deep. Instead, he's taken a page from Draymond Green's book, running the floor after rebounds and becoming a key facilitator in the half court. The impact is obvious. Mobley's usage rate is up 15%, and he's putting up career highs across the board. 18 points, 9.3 rebounds, and 3.1 assists per game. He's also doubled his drives per game compared to last season, bullying defenders with his length and athleticism. In transition, he's a nightmare, taking the ball coast to coast like a big man who forgot he's not a guard. Break it down however you want. Elite finishing at the rim? Check. Improving as a playmaker? Check. Still one of the best defenders on the planet? Absolutely. In his fourth season, Mobley has made his defensive dominance undeniable while finally evolving into the kind of offensive force everyone has been waiting to see. But if there's one player who has been the rock for the Cavs, it's Donovan Mitchell. A six-time All-Star, he consistently delivers 24 to 25 points per game. This season, his minutes, shot attempts, and usage are all down, yet his production remains just as strong. Mitchell is averaging 24.4 points, 4.8 assists, and 4.3 rebounds while shooting 45.6% from the field and 39.2% from three. Even with fewer touches, he continues to put up all-star numbers. He is getting more assisted baskets, allowing the offense to work for him instead of always creating his own shot.
Thrown away right to LeVert. Mitchell has his head up, takes LeVert feet. Oh my!
His transition play has also been a key factor, attacking the rim for layups or kickouts with his signature blend of power and finesse. The Cavs are finally playing winning basketball. Despite being on multiple 50-win teams in Utah and Cleveland, Mitchell has never reached the conference finals. This season, the Cavs are playing at that level, and his willingness to take a step back has helped make them a more complete team. Mitchell still leads the team in scoring, takes the most shots, and remains the primary offensive weapon. At the same time, he is sharing the load, allowing teammates to thrive, and incorporating more off-ball movement, including an increased focus on catch-and-shoot threes. When the team needs a closer, he continues to be the go-to option. In February, he was named the Eastern Conference Player of the Month after leading Cleveland to an NBA best 10-1 record, while averaging 25.8 points, 4.2 rebounds, and 5.3 assists. He scored at least 20 points in 8 of those 10 games, including 4 30-point performances and a season-high 41 in a comeback win over Boston. This season, Mitchell is thriving in a system built on ball movement, spacing, and teamwork. Recent NBA champions, including the 2024 Celtics, 2023 Nuggets, and 2022 Warriors, have succeeded with this approach, and the Cavs are following the same formula. At the end of the day, both the numbers and the eye test suggest that the Cleveland Cavaliers are the closest thing to the Warriors we've seen in the last decade. Most people aren't ready for that conversation, and it's understandable. The Cavs still need to prove they can sustain this level of play in the postseason. This team doesn't revolve around one superstar. They move the rock, they sacrifice touches, they lock in on defense, and the results, they speak for themselves.
Last 8 shots. Here's Mitchell through the lane, whirls it up and in.
The Cavs are winning at a historic rate, with an offensive system that's as smooth as it is relentless. Whether people want to admit it or not, Cleveland is playing basketball at a championship level. Now the only question left is, can they finish the job? The Cavaliers still have a long road ahead before they can truly call themselves finals-bound. The East is stacked with battle-tested contenders like the Celtics, Bucks, and Knicks, all ready to shut that conversation down. But here's the thing. Cleveland is built to take on anybody. Donovan Mitchell has played himself into the MVP conversation. Evan Mobley is making a legitimate case for Defensive Player of the Year in just his 4th season. Darius Garland remains an all-star level talent, while key role players like Ty Jerome and newly acquired DeAndre Hunter are making waves in the 6th Man of the Year race. This team isn't just winning, they're dominating, as proven by their 12-game win streak and their grip on the top spot. The Celtics may still be the kings of the East, but Cleveland is knocking on the door, and they're not asking for permission. Are we witnessing the next great NBA team quietly taking shape? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're as locked in on the Cavs as I am, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more in-depth NBA breakdowns like this.